All right, so let's just get this started. Just waiting for some more people to join. Here we go. All right, so I need to make this video update live stream because there may be questions. We need to answer those questions in order to continue where we're going. So please feel free to introduce yourself, say hi, ask me some questions. Let's do it. Hello, Exit here. Greetings to you too. Hope your day or night has been well, depending where you are. It's always good to know where people are from. I try to keep track of these things, so the more I get used to these live streams, the more I keep doing them. I just think it's worthwhile. Oh, Chicago. So you must be like in the evening there, up pretty late, I could imagine. You're probably still on Thursday there. Yeah, so the purpose here is to just try and explain the deal with what's going on here in terms of this current move. So we are in a C wave. It hasn't ended yet, but I can see weakness in this C wave. It doesn't make me feel like it's going to be terrible. But as I've mentioned, I have decided to convert to USDT until we make a new low based on the Arias wave methodology. So any questions around that? 2 a.m. Friday. Fantastic. Chicago. I should add that to my world clock here. Wow, 1:58 a.m. Excellent. It's good to know. Yes, I like to keep track of who's who, especially if you're a site member. So are we seeing wave C? Yes, wave C that started back up here around the 16th of May. it's still not done yet. So it doesn't really affect any of my other analysis. It just means that we haven't finished wave C yet, basically. So when I said I thought this could be potentially the end of C wave here, I thought, okay, let's look for the evidence. And that evidence was broken. So we created a head and shoulders pattern. Lovely. At the end of the day, all that means is that my count was wrong. Right. And that's a good thing, because then we can use that evidence to I am afraid to sell a swap. I hold and add. I leave XLM alone. Everything. Well, I suppose the reason why I decided to do it was because if I see something that doesn't look right, then to me it just means I can buy more for cheaper. Especially like when you're dealing with 40 cents to 20 cents area, you could add a little bit more to your portfolio if you know the waves. So in this case, the waves are telling me that we're going to make one more new low. I cannot see anything else that would make that invalid. The move down since the top of E wave there at the end of wave 4, I can see that the move down is getting sharper. So therefore, to me, it's not like for example, if you use Elliott wave, you could say, okay, that's a wave 1, and then we're just going to see a pullback and then a move up. But obviously, I don't use Elliott wave. I use Arias wave. So therefore, the count means we're going to see one more low. So if you're an Elliottician, most likely you'll pull out your fib retracement and you'll go, okay, we've hit 50%. We're going to go higher. 60.618%. Okay, that's still okay. We'll go higher. 0.786. Okay, now we're getting pretty low, but we're still going to go higher. Might even consider putting on a margin trade. You'll get wiped out. So to me, the waves are the most important thing in understanding this. So adjusting my count means that I should either hold on, which is not a bad thing. If you hold on to your XLM, like I'm not selling my XLM, I'm merely converting it to USDT as a safety storage, like stable coin, waiting for the fall to happen and then just buying the XLM back in. But one thing that I have to say here is that we have a gap. So not being a wave 3 gap, it's actually a gap that will be filled, right? Most gaps are filled in markets. So not only do I think it's going to make a new low, it's also going to fill the gap on the way down, then make a new low. I wouldn't even I would probably, depending on what time I'm awake, if I see a new low anywhere below the last low, wave D, I will probably just buy back in. So how much is that in terms of percentage down? It's 25%. It's not a big deal, but in terms of percentage growth from the wave D low up to where we are now is it's 40%. So the amount of coin, the amount of XLM you can increase, it depends on your knowledge. It's the same thing as saying, should I short? Should I not short? Except I'm not shorting. I'm not using margin. All I'm doing is converting to a USDT for safety purposes, and then waiting for confirmation of the low, and then buying back into XLM. All right, because XLM is my coin of choice. We're not trying to do anything else here. So Yeah, impulsive moves generally look sharper than this. Okay, an impulsive move doesn't perform the waves that we're seeing here. And I suppose you need to know RES wave to understand that. I just got off a meeting with one of my members when this happened, when we broke that low. So I got off the call and started investigating as to what it is that's going on in order to make sense of it. And the only conclusion I could come up with is that we're going to see one more low. If for some reason, how can I say this? If for some reason it keeps going down lower, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see something pretty sharp go down. And by that point, well, I'm out of it. So I'm not going to worry, but it is getting sharper as it moves lower. So. Well, you can, yeah, I mean, I suggest you watch all my videos because I keep you updated every day. So, like, even though I said this wave C is over, I always say that if there's a break of a low that doesn't make sense, I'm going to update you, right? That's what I do. I love the waves. I created RES Wave. If you don't know the story, over 6 years, I decided to start posting about just over a year ago, just to make just to see how it feels like to put this out in the real world. I started making a lot of progress, and then especially in February, I changed my attitude towards cryptos, and it broadened my horizons to the point where I can understand where we're heading. Everything is bullish. So even if you start buying, you don't need to be in this video live stream right now. If you're just a hodler and you refuse to even, convert to USDT and wait for a mini move down just to gain a little bit more XLM, that's fine. You can just watch this for entertainment purposes, right? But if you want to just, increase it a little bit, understand the waves and why they do what they do, it's not going to hurt to watch, but all gaps get filled usually, unless it's a wave 3 breakup gap, and even those get probably filled eventually, even if it takes ages. But in this case, I'm pretty sure that gap is going to get straight filled and go make a new low. So, and I've made my waves quite clear here with the 3-3-5-3-5 pattern for wave 2 being so small. Wave 3 was sharp. Wave 4 was a bit bigger. So wave 5 it has to make a new low. There is no doubt about wave 5. It has to be the lowest or the highest if you're looking at a bull market wave 5 move. In this case, we're looking at a bear market wave 5 move. So therefore, we have to see one more low. And if the waves look like the proper 5 wave moves, even if it just barely touches that low and goes beneath it, I'll just buy back in. Like, I don't want to play too many games with this thing, because I know that when wave 4s are the weakest of corrections, that means that we're going to see a move up. So I still expect to see a move up. It's just that we haven't completed wave C yet. So we can't move to wave D unless wave C is complete. And so far, we have no evidence yet to suggest that wave C is over, especially because this particular move here, it looks like a 3-wave move. All right. Initially, I try to think that it was a 5-wave move. Right. So initially, I thought, okay, we have a small wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the one thing that really stuck out at me is this pattern here. That's a 3-wave move followed by a 5-wave move. And 3-wave moves are not they're not an entire correction. And in an entire correction, you'd have to look at the RES wave pattern to understand that a correction does not consist of just one zigzag. So this is a 3. So if we just say, for example, we look closer at what I call A here, right? Okay, you can see that there's something else going on here. It looks like a 5-wave move, but it's followed by a zigzag and a 5-wave move. So therefore, yeah, I must conclude that that's an A, B, C, and then the D wave happened here. Okay, because it's not a 5-wave move. I mean, I won't be. I won't lie. Sometimes I break my own rules. 5-wave moves in the middle, they're the sharpest. Look at that. That's wrong. That's wrong. The middle of this move is not sharp, so mistakes can be made. But then the confirmation came with E, and now we broke the thing that I thought I was seeing. So, all right. So let's have a look at the comments here. What price am I at right now? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I got out as soon as we broke that low. I moved it to USDT because it's a stable coin. So what price am I at right now? I'm not sure what you mean. In terms of what target or for the low? We only have to make one more low in order to complete this pattern. So depends what you mean. So welcome, Legnaknil. Nice to meet you. Watch my latest stuff. If you go to my website, reswave.com, I have this thing called the Bullish series, which happened after I decided to look into cryptos, and it helped everything because I initially was only looking at Dow Jones, Euro, just the normal boring currency pairs and indexes and commodities, oil. But after looking at cryptos, it opened my mind up for some reason. And then I decided to create the Bullish series. And after that, I realized that everything is on an uptrend. So long term, everything is bullish because of money printing, inflation. They're creating inflation, but they deny that it exists. And that's just the Fed propping up the market. They don't want to scare the horses, as so to speak. So to me, it's all about expanding the money supply and stimulating the economy, which increases asset prices, but it does have its consequences in the long run. And I believe that is inflation. If you ever get a chance, watch Milton Friedman's video on money and inflation from the 70s or the 80s. Watch Martin Armstrong, the forecaster. Listen to Gregory Mannarino. He speaks the truth. My waves basically line up with his ideology, but he is, the way I see it, he's more of an options trader. So he's probably talking more in terms of timelines. and expiry dates versus the granular movements of waves, which is what I do. I try to understand the granular movements because then, especially in these times, you can capitalize off small moves if you get in and out at the right time. Now, I'm not saying I'm always going to do this, but let's just say, for example, that we complete a C wave and then we make a D wave, and it's pretty clear. I'm going to get out at the top of the D wave, wait for the E wave, and then buy back in again. I'm going to do the same thing again. So I kind of do want to go up and then sell when it's going down. But if you're a long-term hodler, you can also use my analysis to understand when I believe the pattern is ending. But if you learn RES wave, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So exit here. So basically, like, for example, right? C waves can be sharp. I've seen a ton of C waves that are sharp. So basically, initially I thought that this was a 1, 2, we had a 3, 4, 5 in here because C waves can be sharp, right? But then I revised that count and then I said, okay, fine. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I ignored some of the principles in RS wave unknowingly, because after I took a look after the recent break, I'm like, hang on a minute. We're seeing a zigzag here and a 5-wave move. That's not right. So therefore, you got to be very careful with wishful thinking mixed with confirmation bias. I struggle with this myself. This is something that is part of my program. It tries to explain to you the psychology of trading, and sometimes you can look at a pattern and it's almost like you've got two brains, right? You've got your animal brain and you've got your logical brain, right? There's a couple of people who really explain this really well, right? One person that comes to mind, the guy who made that website, consultants.com, right? Let me just look him up quickly here. Sam Ovens, right? If you look up Sam Ovens on YouTube, this guy's not dumb, all right? He actually explains a lot about the logical brain versus the animal brain, right? So we have two systems working in our mind. So basically, it's all about the dopamine hits that you get when you trade, right? That's why the trader versus the analyst. The analyst will give you the truth. The animal brain will give you the hopes and the dreams and the emotional side. The logical side will tell you the truth, but sometimes you have to be careful with psychology. The animal brain will overpower the logical brain, right? So Sam Ovens explains that a lot. So he teaches a lot of stuff around relating to dopamine in the brain. So it's very easy to assume something, even though that you know it's wrong. There's that psychology aspect that is the most important part of reading waves or trading or anything. You have to learn when to ignore the animal brain and go based on your logic and your reasoning, which is why I teach the waves, because that's the logic. And I have that psychology component built into the program. But I also like to recommend other people who can explain it a lot better than me. So it's not that the waves can break off into another pattern. It's that you haven't seen the wave completed yet. Even though you thought it was completed, it hadn't yet completed yet. Yeah, Gregory Mannarino, yeah, he speaks truth, but he doesn't do the kind of analysis I do. He's right though. He's right with what he says. Yeah, it's the emotional versus the analytical brain. We have those two processes going on at the same time, basically. So that's why they say psychology is very important in trading. But you need to have both. You need to have, first of all, you need to learn the waves. So you have that logical brain, and then you need to learn how to deal with your psychological side in order to make the decisions based on the correct knowledge, not the psychological, sorry, not the emotional side, but the one that's actually the logical, the one that you have all your knowledge based on. And sometimes it's you know, it's a little bit hit and miss. So nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. That's why I teach this stuff, and I tell my members all the time, you could probably do it better than I can, right? You might have that logical side more powerful than the animal brain, the more emotional side. You might have that more down pat, so you'll pick this up quick, and then you'll probably be better than I am, and I will have to listen to you. Like that's the thing. You have to listen to people. You can't just ignore what they say. So, Ronald, hi Ronald. With wave C predicted to end at a lower price, will the potential top of wave D be lower as well? No, and I've said this before, wave D is generally the breakout wave. So like, just say, for example, you have a look here at wave 3, right? Did you notice that D wave broke the low before coming back? So it's the same principle when you're looking at a C wave in the larger perspective. So if we go to the 4-hour chart, right? So this is a wave B. So D wave typically tends to be the breakout wave where you will get that breakout to the upside and then retest the highs. That's where I get my 160 projection for XLM. I know it sounds crazy, but you may also have a look at the money supply and the hockey stick in the money supply. Basically, money supply has gone up exponentially since COVID, the COVID crisis. You could almost assume that it was a really good excuse to just print to infinity. So, but D waves tend to be the breakout wave. So I don't think it'll end lower. I think once we break above all-time highs, it'll be retested and it will end wave B. And then we can look for wave C, which will be more like that 2017 move, which was pretty sharp, pretty quick. And people will probably miss out on that one because as soon as we see D wave, what tends to happen is the move goes up and then it breaks down, goes up again, and then it breaks down or retest. People start to get worried. They sell only to later realize that that was actually the end of a move, which then led to the end of the B wave and the start of the actual bear market rally, right? Because this is not a bull market. We're not in a bull market. Okay, we're in a bear market rally. After we see the end of the larger D wave and a big crash coming in the markets, if you look at my bullish series, you'll understand what I'm talking about. After that, then we could expect to see a massive bull run. So ideally you want to get out at the top of this move when it completes the larger move. Put it into USDT like I just did now, but right now it's just temporary. So once it hits that low down here, I'll buy XLM again, wait for the D wave, and then potentially convert back into USDT until I see where this E wave ends, because there's no guarantee where it could end. I don't think it's going to be too deep, but I mean, you can hodl the whole way through and you'll be fine. But if you can just make those extra moves that gain you more XLM, you'll get more bang for your buck when you hit your target. It's as simple as that, really. That's just the general like thinking behind why I'm posting every day. Like for example, I could have not posted for 24 hours. This could have gone down, and you would have been thinking, "Whoa," but it went down further. But I don't want to have that scenario where I don't keep you updated. I want to keep you updated constantly to the point where you could make a choice to rebuy lower. If you're a hodler, that's fine. Yeah, dopamine is our biggest enemy. Sam Ovens, that's Jesus. That guy, man. Just listen to him speak. You'll understand straight away what I'm talking about. I don't think XLM is going that high. Sounds crazy, but I think it will take like... Look, if you learn RS wave, it's just a set of patterns that occur. Once B wave is over, you get your C wave. That's all I can say to you. I suppose if you don't believe, you will see, and then you'll believe. You could either learn and be involved and benefit from it, or you could just wait and then see the evidence and then believe, but you weren't a part of it. So it's up to you. Either way, the patterns they're gonna cause the same pattern every time. I've done my back testing over 6 years to develop RS wave, and then the last couple of years has just been being social with it, putting it out there, speaking to people, getting members involved, speaking to those members, getting their feedback, sort of trying to keep teaching them because it's very complex. So I actually advertise one Zoom session, but really I just speak to them whenever they want to speak to me, because I understand that it's not easy to just keep... It's not easy. Like, it's a very complex thing, right? You can't just give someone like a set of instructions. It's like when you get a job, right? Your boss will give you a set of instructions and you'll go off and do the job and you'll make mistakes. So what are you going to do when you make those mistakes? You're going to go back to your boss. So I'm kind of like going to be there to support anybody who needs help. I just advertise one Zoom session simply because I really want people who are dedicated to be into this. I try to deter haters and trolls because they really, those kind of people, they kind of scare me a little bit. They kind of worry me because they're the kind of people who will try and, I don't know, they're like evil. You know, like I make people sign NDA agreements, non-disclosure agreements with this stuff for a reason. I just don't want the wrong people to get involved. Yeah, well, it can go that high. I mean, it's a given. Well, that's right. If you go back to the daily chart, all right, now, if you don't believe anything I say right now, you know, just hypothetically speaking, go back to A wave, right? And take a look at how long it took for it to go from 0.006 to 92 cents. It took 100 days and 13,000%. So if you don't believe that that kind of move can happen again in this crazy world of cryptos, then I don't know what world you're living in. Sorry, because because this is a pattern. This is a zigzag, right? And if you understand what a zigzag is, this is not Elliott wave. If you were looking at Elliott wave would be A, B, C. You're almost there, you're done. This will go to like $3. But when you understand the corrective portion, which is RES wave is all about the correction, once you see that B wave, that's where you measure the A wave from the B wave and you get the same distance. All right, this is proven. Eventually, I'll put testimonials on my page, on my webpage. I'm working on that next. As soon as I have my one-on-one meetings with my members, more of them, I'm going to start asking them to basically allow me to post some of the emails they send me, because they send me pretty good feedback, or they can write their own, whatever. I don't care. Whatever it is, independent verification, whatever it takes, I don't care, because I believe in this. Otherwise, why would I waste my time? Will XLM reach $1 by the end of the year? I reckon it'll go probably, depending on how long the D wave lasts, it'll definitely hit it probably before the end of the year. How long it hangs around that area, it depends on how quick the D wave happens. We need to see the DE. As soon as we see the DE, it'll go straight up. So that's why I track a lot of the different markets, like the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ. And at the moment, I can see that the Dow Jones, okay, so if you go back to, all right, so let's just have a quick look at the Dow Jones. I just want to make a point here, right? And just one small little point. It's not a big deal. Okay. So where did wave one end in the Dow Jones? Well, it actually ended, according to RES wave, it ended in October 2018. So the Dow Jones technically topped about almost a year later compared to cryptos. Okay. So to me, it's almost like when we see the top of the cryptos, the Dow Jones could be potentially still hovering around the highs, right? So because we're looking at a D wave in the larger picture, if you understand what RES wave variances of E waves are, and I'm not talking about these little ones here, I'm talking about, so with the D wave, obviously you got to get your C wave. I think I've got it up here somewhere. Yeah, so that's the real one. This D wave here, this is the little D wave. So it's all fractal patterns. So you're going to get a large degree E wave move. So if I go to the weekly chart, right? You're going to get a move back down, and it would actually be better if I use the STR chart for this particular analogy, because the STR chart, I don't know if I have, I'm pretty sure I have the waves. Yeah. So the STR chart tells you wave one, this is a glitch down here, data glitch. So wave one, A, B, C, we're in D. So technically when D waves end, the correction tends to come back down to roughly where what wave one ended, unless it's expanded. So every coin will be different. We may see highs where some coins don't retrace all the way back to the end of wave one. We may see expanded corrections, which is what I call a type 2 expanded correction. But typically you see a big move down. So in the Dow Jones, I'm expecting like a complete bloodbath, like the GFC 2.0. So will that be the same for every coin? You cannot predict that. You just cannot. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because I think that that's foolish. Okay, it's hard enough trying to predict these small moves. We know that there's a C wave coming. Let's wait till we end the B wave and then we'll talk. Okay, imagine the E wave ends a bit lower, then that price target will be a little bit lower. You get me? That's the kind of thing. This is an ongoing thing. We have to see waves happen first before we can make decisions. But I'm trying to give you an example. If E wave retests that all-time high, then we can expect 160. But if E wave goes below the all-time high for some strange reason, then it might be like, you know, like $90 or $50, you know, because this is exponential growth here. All right. I don't want to get into that too much here because it's kind of like going back to what I always talk about in a lot of these live streams. Learning the waves is the best way to understand what I'm saying. So I do teach this stuff. Doge will reach $1 soon. This is something else. Sure, maybe it does. Doge, I think from what I saw in Dogecoin, all right, I'll quickly go to it now because I've been thinking about making a video about it, but it's the only thing that stops me from doing it is the amount of data that we have on the exchanges. I like to have historical data that goes back quite a while. So finding that data is the first step. And then, but with Dogecoin, all I can see is a 5-wave move up. I don't have a yardstick here like I do with XLM. That's why I look at XLM because it's got the clearest pattern. XRP also has a clear pattern, right? I mean, how are you going to use that? I mean, I don't touch it for that reason. If you want to count 5 waves up, then this is cooked. This is done. But I don't want to make that assumption. Like, I'm not going to tell you to sell your Dogecoin. I call it dodgy coin, but I'm not going to tell you to sell that because I don't have the historical data to back up my claims. So I'd rather just stay away from it for now until something comes along that I can use that will actually be useful for the, you know, in RS wave terms. Your personal prediction for XLM was $8 to $18. Well, you must be using Elliott wave then. Elliott wave doesn't work. Elliott wave is bullshit. Yeah. Flashback. Thank you. Hi and welcome. There is definitely an exponential move coming. It's due to the monetary policies, the money printing, inflation. It's not the value of the asset that's going up. It's the devaluation of the fiat money that causes these assets to rise. This is Milton Friedman's words are very important. If you watch his money and inflation video back from the 80s and 70s, that guy knew what he was talking about. If Milton Friedman was still alive today, they'd probably kill him because he speaks too much truth, and you know they don't like people who tell truth these days. They'd probably just you know, send him a little package or something. Yo, flashback. Fibonacci's are good, but it depends if you have to know the waves because sometimes you could use Fibonacci's and then like it comes back down to 50%, 60.618%, and then it just goes below the low, and it's like, well, why did I use Fibonacci when I didn't know what I was looking at? So it kind of you need to use those tools as secondary analysis. If like personally, I don't like using them at all, But sometimes I like to illustrate points using them, but that's about it. And he deletes the Fibonacci that he had on the screen to illustrate a point. Fibonacci is no good on their own. If you use the waves, fair enough. Like, just say, for example, right, you look at wave A here, okay? Try to take a Fibonacci on an exponential chart. Okay, look how good that works. Pretty crap. The low was lower than the 0.88. I mean, yeah, I'm going to use Fibonacci on cryptos. It just doesn't work. Hi, Sebastian. Good to see you. ADO Bo, predictions on XLM by the end of the year. Well, I reckon it'll hit all-time high by the end of the year, and depending on the D wave, it could definitely just start shooting up from there. I think it'll be in line with I think what we're going to see now is going to change the way people see cryptos, because everybody's been following this, Bitcoin correlation with cryptos. And, what happens in the long run is that most people are wrong. So when things start changing, people just lose money because they were followed. Basically, it's like that old saying, right? If everybody does it, if everybody thinks this way, then how long will that work for, right? You could say that they're all correlated, but as soon as something changes, you're wrong, you lose. That's why the waves, to me, is the only way to really sort of use your judgment. Like, sometimes I like to throw in a bit of pattern analysis. Like, you could look at this pattern here and you could say, oh, this is a cup and handle pattern, right? So we had the cup, and now the C wave down is the handle. That's a bullish signal. Yeah, I agree with you. I would say that's right. Okay. But is it right for every chart? You can't use it as your primary analysis. You have to use it as your secondary analysis tool. So Abe, hi Abe, how you doing? Hey man, I saw your vid in my feed one day. Glad I did. Thank you. Appreciate it. I do these live streams because I just love waves, right? That's the simple truth. Why do I prefer XLM over XRP? Well, I love XRP, but the point is, if you go to the XRP chart, right, and I'll show you this right now. XRP is got a different pattern, right? So the pattern in XRP in the long run is that it's made a early one, A, B. So just think of this, right? Just picture Bitcoin in 2017. Picture this being that first drop. This is its current move now. See how the pattern's different? This is a C wave. That's what Bitcoin could potentially do now. And then you're going to get your D wave. Okay. So not all patterns are the same, right? That's why I believe XRP is going to head back down toward the end of wave one, because it was an expanded correction, but it's not a type 2 expanded correction. It's a type 1. Type 2 expanded corrections don't come anywhere back near the end of the initial impulsive move, right? Type 1s, they do, right? And I believe XRP will be a type 1, even if it takes like a long time to grind out a weak wave ending diagonal wave E. It'll be in line with the rest of the markets by the time it happens. I suppose the point is I wouldn't buy it because I don't think it's going up, because I think it's seen its I think it's seen it's the end of D wave. So, and it wasn't really a large move. It didn't even break all-time highs. I don't think it's going to happen. But when it gets down here, believe me, I'm going to put 50% of everything I have into XRP. I love XRP. I love its use case. I love that Jed co-founded it. I love David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse. He's a big talker, but I love the tech side of the people who are on the tech side of things. I like the tech guys. I can tell when tech guys are talking shit. I've been in IT since I was 16 years old. I know the tech guys, and when they speak, I can hear their truth in their voice. It's those other guys who they just want to speak because they have to. They have to try and make things better for the business and all that crap. I don't think the XRP case is going to do anything to XRP. I think it's all just a big bunch of BS fluff just to I don't know. I suppose they just want to make their presence felt, because I believe they have a long-term agenda for CBDCs and cryptos in general, like central bank digital currencies. So I suppose they're kind of trying to lay down the groundwork for what will be in the future, the framework. So that's my opinion in particular to that. The XLM chart is a gorgeous chart. I won't disagree with that. It's definitely a lot clearer than a lot of other charts. To me, especially like the STR USDT, that's pretty cool. But I just use this one because it's a little bit clearer, and I already know what happened beforehand. So I just continue on. Hi, Matt. How you doing? Hi, Cult Fiction Media. What's up? What is up? Don't fight the current. Ebb and flow. Yeah. I mean, I just try to give you the waves the way that the framework tells me to give it, because waves all have a destiny, right? Each pattern has to complete its objective, whether it's an A, a B, whether it's an expanded zigzag, non-expanded. I just look at it from a perspective of, have we seen the end of that particular wave? Can we expect a move up? Can it potentially be expanded? In this case, it looks like it will be expanded, that sort of stuff. How could XRP go as low as 0.06? Well, I think everything's coming down. Like I said to you before, this is a bear market rally in everything right now. In the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, cryptos, commodities, everything is in a bear market rally. So it's not actually a real bull market. I mean, just think about it. Look at the economy. Is the economy strong? Watch Gregory Mannarino's channel. He'll explain it to you. It's a freak show. Like he says, it's a freak show. But during that freak show, you can make money, right? When the time comes for the real bull market, that's when you want to have the capital to invest, because then we're going to see a massive move, and it'll make you rich, basically, right? But you have to make the right moves now, right? You have to break. Otherwise, when you get to the bottom of that move that's coming, if you're broke, what are you going to invest? You're not going to have anything to invest. You're literally just going to be like, this is a good time to buy. Maybe I should sell my house. Maybe I should get a loan. Maybe I should. I don't know what people think. But if you just make some profits, put them into USDT, wait a while, put it back in, make some gains, see the top of that pattern, put it back into USDT, wait for the drop, put it back in. You end up owning more of that coin, right? It's all about how much of that coin you own in the long run, because then you pull out your calculator and then you see what I'm talking about. But if you're just talking about price, it's nothing to do with price. It's how much of it you own in the long run. Because then when you do get to those big numbers, you can have a good time with the calculator compared to just trying to be right. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to make money, but I'm trying to use the waves in the way that I know using Arias wave to do it properly. Yeah. And I suppose that's why I also try to cover the TRX XRP chart. And I'm really happy that that chart exists. I do believe that that's also going to provide a lot of evidence as to why Tron will pump over XRP. But, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as you make some money and as long as you take it out when you're supposed to, just do that. Make sure you do that. Because I've heard so many stories where people have made a lot of money in cryptos, but they just lost it all because they didn't know when to get out. They had no idea at all whatsoever. So good morning, Matthew. It's good to see you, Matthew Fraser, one of my members there. Good to see you there. Look forward to our one-on-one when you make that list and get the chance. I believe the Dow Jones will get at least 50%. Martin Armstrong thinks it'll go down probably like 60%. I reckon it'll be like a GFC 2.0, and because of what they're doing now, because of the way they're expanding the D wave in the Dow Jones and how it looks like a bull market, I reckon it's going to crash even harder. So I reckon it's going to be like a Great Depression 2.0, a GFC 2.0, all rolled into one. But because of the money policies, the Fed policies on money printing, and also because of what I expect to happen to interest rate and inflation, I reckon the bounce will be huge, and not in a good way, right? You can make money off it, but it's not going to be something that is like, oh yay, everything's better now because the market bounced. No, it's actually the opposite. Everything's going up because they've devalued the currency so much, and that's the only reason why it's going to the moon. It's a strange world we live in. Matt, should you sell? Watch my last video. That's what I just did. I didn't sell it though. I converted it to USDT. Minimum fees, basically zero fees. You wait until you hit a new low, and then just convert it back into XLM, right? So it's still going down. Let's just zoom in a bit on that one right now. So, I mean, this is just proof to me that we're going to make a new low. We're going to fill that gap. It's now, the C wave hasn't ended. Basically, we have to make a new low. So I just basically, when we broke that red line that I was talking about, which also looks like a head and shoulders pattern, I just said, you know what, this doesn't fit my analysis, so I'm just going to sell this. I believe this is a wave 4. We need, and with wave 5s, they need to make one more low below any pattern that preceded it, including a corrective D wave. So therefore, as soon as we make a new low, I just buy back into XLM and just wait, be patient. But that gap is also something that needs to be filled, and usually gaps are filled if they're not wave 3 gaps. And as I've always said, that doesn't look like a wave 3 gap. So I don't know. Let's just see how we go. Justin Sun. I don't know, man. I don't know about these people, right? I just see the patterns. I hear all sorts of stuff, but can you really believe everything you hear these days? Is everything you hear true, or is it just like the media, right? Do you believe everything in the media? As soon as I remember back in 2017, as soon as my mother told me, I heard on the radio that Bitcoin went to $20,000 or in Australian dollars, or I think it was like whatever it was, right? I'm like, Mum, say that again. Did you just say something about Bitcoin? I go, where did you hear that? She goes, the radio. I'm like, this is the top. This is the top, right? It's the shoe shine boy analogy, right? Somebody who has no idea about it heard about it. Okay, this is the top, and that's exactly what happened. That Bitcoin crashed at least 80%. Yeah, I mean, my Tron outlook is positive. I don't have a problem with Tron. Like I said, everything is in a bear market rally. So the pattern will have to play out the way it does. Um, that's all I go based on. I don't go based off anything else. So um, look, at the moment, let's see how this pans out. I want you guys to buy it low if you haven't bought it already. I want you to wait at least until we break the low, at least until we break the D wave low here. When you hit that red line down there around 27 cents, I reckon that's a good buying opportunity. So even if this thing goes maybe a little bit below it, well, what's a few cents? Nobody cares, right? But from 38 cents to 27 cents, 10 cents, that's okay. Or even if you sold it back at 40 cents to 27 cents, that's a bit of difference there. That could change the amount of XLM you own. So that's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, BTC did go down a lot. I know. I'm just trying to be I don't want to scare the horses here. Who knows who's listening? As soon as you start talking too bearish on stuff, people start to get angry, and I don't need any more trolls. Like I've already fought off a few trolls, and for some reason they haven't come back. So knock on wood, you know. Well, this table is not made of wood, but just knock on wood because those people just annoy the shit out of me. It's like they have this ideology in their mind, but yeah, it makes no sense to me or to anybody else. You can buy XLM now, but you could also buy it at 27 cents. So you could buy more at 27 cents than you could at 38 cents. But that's because you don't know the waves. If you know the waves, then but if you're a hodler and you don't know the waves, well, this is going to go up. So whether you buy it now or at the red line, I would not stop buying XLM, right? When I say I put all my XLM into USDT, I did that on one wallet, right? I didn't do it on all the wallets, but it's I need to just prove a point here. Like, you know, you can do this, it's not necessary. You can learn the waves, it's not necessary. You can just watch my videos for insights, it's not necessary. It's all about what your intentions are. Do you want to learn? Well, you can learn. Do you want to be entertained? You can be entertained. Sometimes I talk about stuff that's not related to waves. Sometimes I talk about people because I observe people. I observe conspiracy theories. I try to talk about certain agendas and narratives that are going on right now, and the whole goal of having a cashless society and all that sort of stuff. So you could call it a little bit of entertainment, but I think I think after we see this run up, RS wave will gain more credibility. Simple as that. And I can't wait for that day, because I'll be basically looking forward to it. It's a matter of time. Bitcoin has already created its B wave, so why would it go higher? I don't like people who just keep thinking that everything just is going to go the same way. Bitcoin has made huge money compared to XLM. So does XLM follow Bitcoin? No, it doesn't. Has it moved roughly in the same direction? A little bit, sure. But what's the end game, right? This is only the beginning of cryptos. So who cares, right? If you want to talk about 5-10 years from now, I think we're going to be seeing XLM at way above 100, right? So we're in early days. This is early days. I don't know about Pancake crypto. I don't know how much potential pancakes have. I'm only going to stick to stuff that I believe that is going to be central to what the financial system might use as a replacement to this old, outdated piece of shit financial system that we have, where we have Stripe, which is crap, Swift, which is crap. We have corrupt central banks printing the shit out of money. I think blockchain can solve that problem pretty quickly, but it's not going to happen with Bitcoin. It's going to happen in a more sustainable manner. XRP looks like a good choice to me. XLM could be a good choice as well. I'm going to buy them both. Pancake, if you're a chef, if you believe in pancakes, I suggest you buy Pancake. But as long as you know what you're doing, learn the waves. If you could see something that makes sense, fine. But just keep it in the back of your mind that pancakes might not be the future. I'm just saying. But definitely we need to replace this financial system that's corrupted. And I think that that's already in progress. So it's still too early to buy these coins based on that use case utility. I think that we need to wait for that big, great reset to happen in wave E after this move up that I'm talking about, before we can start contemplating real use case. Because you know what happens when things go to the shit house? When shit hits the fan, not only will they have to bail out banks, but they might even have to replace the whole financial system, because people would have had enough. People would have had enough already. They're not going to stand for the same old. And we're expecting a massive bull run up after this next GFC 2.0. So is that going to be based on the same system? I highly doubt it. I think they're going to, the revolution has begun. It was inevitable, and we're just seeing the beginning of it, and we're just trying to speculate and make some money. That's all we're doing right now. But when the time comes for the real bull run, we want to be ready for that. We want to be ready. So I'm trying to prepare you for that. That's my whole point, really. Well, that's right. And that's why I teach these things, because it took, like I keep saying it, right? It took 6-7 years to observe the patterns in the markets. And they're all based on human behavior. They're all cyclical. They don't always happen in the same way, but the patterns are always the same. So therefore, you have to come to the conclusion that no, even manipulation is part of human behavior. So you can say that gold is manipulated. You can say the US dollar is manipulated. You can say everything's manipulated, but it's still human behavior. So it's like, you know, I don't know how to explain it right now, but everything that happens in the markets is part of human behavior because it's a collection of the behavior of the whole. It's not just one. The markets aren't just looking at one sector of humans. They're looking at the whole picture, and it's all in the price. Can certain events cause black swans? Of course they can, but it's all part of the pattern. So it was inevitable. You can't predict the future, but I created a framework that tells you what you should expect. Am I telling you how big those waves are going to be? No, but it's giving you a guideline as to when you should expect it after you see a certain set of patterns unfold, and then you take it from there. It's better than what Elliott wave does, and it's better than what indicators do. So in my opinion, it's better than anything. Aside from insider trading, if you're an insider trader, well, why do you care? You're probably not even watching this. Why would you? But if you're just a regular guy who just wants to understand waves, your best bet is this over Elliott wave. And Elliott wave is actually better than indicators. So it's just like, it's like a topology, right? Who's the best at this point in cryptos? Yeah, Bitcoin's the best because of price. But in terms of accuracy, I want to make RES wave the top of all of any kind of technical analysis over the long run. That's my goal. So even if it means I have to prove myself on one coin until we see it reach its target, I will expand my operations and move into other things and grow this thing. But until that happens, you're just going to have to trust the process. I have 50% off right now, so early adopters get rewarded. But as soon as this starts actually going towards $100, $160, and I told you to get in and you didn't sign up, I'm just going to jack the price up. I don't care because I'm giving people the opportunity now. It's just like when you first get into like a crypto and they do airdrops, or it's just cheaper. Yeah, you're gonna, if you believe and you hold on and you keep believing, you're gonna get more out of it. It's the same thing with what I'm doing, right? I'm gonna reward those that see something that is better than what is out there. If you don't see it, that's fine. Go watch Magic Poop Cannon, right? And watch him extrapolate Bitcoin to go to $1 billion by the year 2030. Whatever. Is it going to get there in a straight line? No, probably not. Can we afford to buy Bitcoin right now? Most of us probably can't buy 100 Bitcoin. Like, what the hell? I created RES Wave. I started creating RES Wave in 2015, right? It took about 5 to 6 years so the first few years, I figured out the pattern and I back tested the hell out of it. The next few years, like 3 years to figure it out and to back test it. 3 years, more back testing. 6, 7 years, that's when I started trading with you. That's when I started to actually put it to use and actually put myself out there. I made my own website. I'm starting to expand the platforms I use. This stuff takes a lot of time. It took me a lot of energy. I had my ups and downs. Mentally, I went through, I got too involved with the markets to the point where my relationship broke down. I have 2 kids. Unfortunately, it took over my whole life. So to me, this is all I do. And I love it. It gives me what I need, and it makes me feel the way I want to feel. And also I love helping people. I'm generous by nature. And I will post daily until the end. I don't care, even beyond $160 XLM. I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing it because I just love doing it. When you love doing something, you don't stop doing it, do you? Maybe you might do other things. Maybe you might get other people involved. Maybe you might expand your operation so then other people can help you do your job better, but it ain't going to stop. This is a bear market rally. Yeah. So even though it looks like a bull market, it's part of a corrective pattern that is part of a wave too. So even though, because, you know, like in wave two, you got A, B, C, D, E. So you got up, down, right? Well, you got down, up, down, right? So on the way up, people say, "Oh, it's going up. It's a bull market." But no, but that's part of the correction of the wave two. It's like you don't know what you're talking about. This is not a bull market. You are one of those people who lost money in 2017. XRP is going to keep going down. I would rather you buy XLM, put it into USDT until XLM gets to 27 cents, and then just buy XLM at 27 cents. XRP, don't buy it yet. I will definitely let you know when you should buy XRP, because I want to buy too. So I'm gonna put it out there. I'm buying XRP now. Now's the time. Right now, nope. Where did the orange line come from, and why did falling beneath it signal a move down? Orange line. Ah, this thing in the middle here, that's just the top of wave E, which is the end of wave 4. So in a correction, there's always A, B, C, D, E. So we saw A, B, C, D, E. So the end of E wave is always the end of a correction. So I just put that line there, I suppose, to signify that. That's the stop if you're shorting this. Not that I recommend margin trading. I don't do that. I came from margin trading. That's what I started doing in the beginning. That's what got me into Elliott Wave and wasting thousands upon thousands of dollars and looking like a complete fool. When I thought it was going up, it was great. And when it went down, I was like, that's okay. There's always next time. So I made it my goal to figure it out. How do markets work? Coming from an IT background, I was one of those kids who taught themselves how computers work. I created a career in IT for myself without going to any course, without going to uni, without doing any of that crap, right? I just figured it out because you can figure it out. And we live in the information age, except in this particular case, you're not going to find anything on waves that's going to teach you what I teach you. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Leg, I did the same. I expect this to go down. So just USDT, it's just like taking a break. Let's just have a rest from the markets and not worry about it until we see the sign, till we see the waves. They're telling us what to do, and then we'll buy it again. It's just like taking a break. It's no big deal. Yeah, no, I explained that before. XRP didn't get to all-time high because the pattern is different. It's a different pattern, right? I'll explain it one more time, and then I'm going to have to start wrapping this thing up because I think there's a whole bunch of other people trying to contact me, and it starts to get overwhelming. So with XRP, right, if you go to the daily chart, okay, wave one happened pretty quick, right? And I've explained this in another video. This is not a 5-wave move, because if you try to say that this was a 5-wave move, wave 3 is the shortest, so it's impossible. So looking closer, I noticed that there was a 5-wave move followed by a 3-wave move, A, B, C, D, right? So you got the only two waves up in the bear market are B and D. So you can see how B was stronger, D was weaker. It's a no-brainer. If you know Arias wave, this is going to chop the hell out until the whole correction ends. And it's going to get to a point where you're going to buy it cheap. People will lose confidence by then. They will think this thing's a waste of time. And that will be when you buy it. And that's what I'm going to do. So I love XRP. I love everything that I've heard about it. I like the pattern. The pattern looks bullish. The only thing is you need to know when to buy it. So using everything that I know in Arias wave, I'm going to go down to that green line before I buy around there. And I don't give a shit when anyone says, oh, you can't go that low. That's ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever, man. Wait until you see what happens after the Dow Jones tops. And then we'll talk about how low shit can go. I don't know. I don't live in America, so I'm not scared of anything to do with XRP. I just think that you should just buy whatever's the good thing to buy. So yeah, maybe that could be part of why the E wave is going to go down now. There's so many different factors. I don't even get into that. I just follow the waves. If you want to try and figure out every wave of what it means, I think your time could be better spent somewhere else, maybe loading the waves and the variances of every wave, because there are variances of every wave. So yeah, like I said to you, we're in a bear market rally, so anything can happen. Yes, it can go up and it can go down. Wait until I tell you that the correction is over completely. That's going to be the biggest buying signal I'm ever going to give ever on it. And it's probably going to happen to a lot of different coins at the same time. So we're going to see just like this massive inflow of money, which is actually inflation. So if you watch that Milton Friedman video on money and inflation happens when all the money, because I need to explain this, right? So it's not about the price of the currency, it's about the circulation of the currency, right? Because you could have X amount of currency in existence, but a percentage of that currency will be locked away, hidden under mattresses, in cold storage, staked, whatever the case is, right? Weimar Germany. Have a look at what's his name? Mike Maloney, right? Watch the whole series on money. He has a whole series on the history of money. And it's the same freaking thing here, right? It's not about market cap. Market cap is bullshit. It's about the circulation of the money. So what's going to happen after this whole correction ends is that we're going to see more circulation. It's called money velocity, right? The velocity of money is going to increase and it's going to cause massive inflation. It's going to send interest rates to the moon and it's going to send asset prices to the moon. But that will also go with interest rates. So it's going to be a double-edged sword. If you're in debt, your asset price goes up, but if you can't service the debt, you're in trouble. So basically, the big fish will always eat the smaller fish. That's the best way I can put it to you in a short amount of time, even though I said I was going to wrap it up. Look, there's always more time for these live streams. And if I get more people interested, I will continue them. leave as many comments as you can because I will be trying to answer every question. Really that low? Yeah, look, I don't know what your point is there. It's all about the waves. Learn the waves, okay? Don't ask me if it can go that low, because you know what most people are doing now? They're buying it high, right? Most people buy high and sell low. So you can say, really, 7 cents? But you already bought it at $1, $2 or $1.50, right? So if it goes to 7 cents, are you going to be buying it? No, you're going to be selling it because you fucked up, basically, right? So it's about knowing the waves, because then you won't make the mistake of thinking that this is a bull market. Realize that it is a bear market rally and it's coming back to complete the correction. What can I say to you? It doesn't matter how cheap something is if you've already paid too much for it. Yes, Felix, that's exactly right. And that's what causes inflation, is the circulation of that money, because that's when there's more money to drive up prices, right? Like exactly what's happening in real estate. You lower the interest rates, people can get more loans, prices go through the roof. Well, imagine that happens to everything, not just houses. Imagine that starts happening everywhere with everything. That's called real inflation, not just an asset bubble. That's actually a long-term thing. So if XRP has a gap, it's going to get closed, no doubt. And I don't think that that's just because you said that. It's because it's roughly where I think it's going. But gaps usually get closed. I used to have one follower that used to always talk about gaps to me, and I'm like, oh, damn it, this guy was right, even though I was like pointing this way and that way. That was before I got into cryptos. Cryptos cleared a lot of things up for me. They made me realize that we're on a massive uptrend. And yeah, it cleared a lot of things up. What can I say? We've all had our ups and down days. So I'm going to have to end it here. We've had a pretty good run. And I appreciate you guys for joining. So if you want to send me a direct message, you can do it on TradingView. You can. I actually started a new Twitter account yesterday. It's called RES Wave Mentor. Or you could even just go to my website, reswave.com, and just go to the contact page and send a message through. It'll come straight through to me, or just become a site member. If you become a site member, I'm going to email you. So you can reply back with whatever you want to say. So it doesn't matter how you do it. It just depends on, do you want to learn the waves or not? If you want to learn the waves, I can teach it. If you don't, just follow my videos, because I'm just going to tell you I'm just going to say what I think you should do. And then obviously over the long run, we're going to see it pan out. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I doubt it. But there are a lot of other insights that the waves tell me that I don't have time to explain. And I see a lot of potential in certain coins over other ones, just due to the pattern. So yeah, it's pretty important to connect with me, because I think that I have the knowledge that you need. I will get some testimonials happening, and yeah, you can read them, and yeah, stay in touch. God bless. Have a good night, day, evening, wherever you are. Catch you later.